All right. Welcome to our live coaching call today. I am going to be coaching 2 people today that signed up ahead of time to be coached. And if there's time for extra coaching at the end, I will ask for volunteers who are on the call live here. When I post these calls, the way you sign up for these calls is you go to my website, emilygibsoncoaching.com, every other Friday. And there's a countdown on my website so that you know which Friday is coming next. It counts down the days, the hours, the minutes. So all you have to do is go to my website and you'll see the countdown there for you to know if it's the Friday to sign up or not. So the people who are going to be coached today are people that have signed up for coaching ahead of time. And you might be on this call live watching them be coached, because if there's one thing that I can tell you that's true, it's that you self-coaching yourself is the best kind of coaching that you will ever receive. It seems like you would need to be coached by me one-on-one to get the best coaching ever. But what you will notice is as you give these calls your attention, your time, and open your heart to it, what you will find is that you listening to others be coached allows you to be coached yourself. And it is where so much incredible, amazing work can be done. Okay. So first, we are going to coach. I get to coach Angie today. Angie, can unmute yourself.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay, Angie, what can I help you with today?
I am just kind of feeling stuck. And I know like what I need to be doing, but for some reason, like I'm not doing it. I think oh gosh, I just had a thought, it left me. I think some of it is feelings of like, do I deserve to be here? And can I really do this?
What are the answers to those questions?
Yes and yes. But then like I don't know why I'm not moving forward. Like I know like, or why I'm not taking action, I guess.
Okay. And when does this thought come up for you the most? Or this question that you ask yourself, when do you find yourself asking this question the most? For example, you said, I know what I need to be doing, but I'm not doing it. When is that coming up for you the most?
I think some of it's coming up kind of when I have like a little bit of failure or I don't know. I'm trying to.
Did something recently happen where you felt failure?
I think just people leaving, and then I'm wondering if I did my work, like, did I follow up with them right or something like that.
So when you say that one more time for me.
No, you're okay. When I have somebody leave or, decide to stop taking the products, then I am questioning myself like, oh, I should have done a better job of following up with them. And then I didn't. And so then that just kind of brings forward like the feelings of failure, like almost like, what am I doing here? I'm not even like, I can't even keep a customer. So like how
That happened to you today, anytime recently?
This week.
Can you tell me about that experience?
Just it was not my level 1, it was a level down further. So it was my level, would have been a level 2. And my level 1 message and just said, hey, this person is wanting to already quit, and it's, only been a month. And so I was like, okay, no problem. Like, here's what we can send. And I wrote out a message and tried to, help save them. But then it just, wasn't received. But I know deep down, like, it's just not the right time for him, right? Like, that it just, it has to be the right time, and they have to be ready for change for it to work. So, I mean, like, deep down, I know it's not me, but I think just let the negativity around that fall into making me think these other thoughts.
So what's the problem that the customer quit? If you know it's not the right time for them, what's the problem with the customer quitting?
This specific customer didn't share, or you mean like?
Because you said,
Oh,
you said a level 1 messaged me saying this person wants to quit. And I said, oh, great. I know exactly what to say. And it wasn't received well. Does that mean that they stopped ordering? They canceled? They're done?
I haven't heard back, but I know he said he wanted to cancel the account.
And so, but then you said that, it's just not the right time for him. And so my question is, why is that a problem?
Oh, it's not. It's not. It's just, I think, because I haven't been doing other things to grow my business, I'm kind of in this scarcity mindset. So, like, just clinging to everyone that's here, versus doing the work to do growth.
So why is it a problem that you're clinging to everyone that's here?
I think because I don't want to have a scarcity mindset around it. I want to have an abundance mindset. And I mean, I guess it's not a problem if it's done in a like healthy way, right? And I'm doing it for the right reasons, right? Like, I want him to succeed. I know he has IBS. I want him to have results. And sometimes those things get worse before they get better. But
let me just kind of like show you what's happening here, because I know that you're trying to, like, focus on the positive, and you're like, yeah, it's not a problem, but there's something that's wrong. Like, there's something in your mind where it's like, and something's gone wrong. This person shouldn't be quitting. So, like, what are you making it mean that they're quitting?
that I'm failing as a leader. I didn't know that was going to come out of my mouth.
And when you think I'm failing as a leader, what feeling comes up for you?
Like, just wondering if I'm good enough, or if I'm doing the right things.
But those are a thought and a question. I want to know the emotion, the one word emotion, the feeling, the vibration in your body that comes up when you think I'm failing as a leader, when person quits products. Or person turns off order.
Like, sad and rejected are kind of what came up for me.
Which one is more strong, sad or rejected?
Maybe rejected.
And when you feel rejected, how do you act?
Like, more quiet.
What does that look like?
I think, like, not engaging.
Like, your level 1 comes to you saying person wants to quit. You say, I know how to solve it. We send the message, and the person says, I want to turn off my order. And you think I'm failing as a leader. You feel rejected. And then what do you do next? Or what did you do next when that happened?
My brain told me some negative things, and then
What did
then
it
that
tell you?
like, see, it's happening again.
What else?
Just that I can't sustain growth. Like, I'll have growth and then I can't sustain it. It's like feeding into the lie that my brain had told myself and making it like believe it more.
So you're sort of like futurizing, like
Mhm.
that it's never never been able to do it, and now like it's just never gonna happen.
Yeah, like, and I told you so.
Futurizing, I told you so. Like a self-fulfilling prophecy, sort of.
Yeah.
You're like, yep, see, there it was.
Yeah.
Knew that was coming. What else do you do when you feel rejected?
I stop posting as much, not as consistent.
What else?
More like less engaged with my leaders, less engaged with the total team.
What do you not do? I know you don't post as much.
Mm-hmm.
What else are you not doing?
Probably not as much follow up with like my existing customers because I'm afraid that they're gonna quit too.
So avoid follow up.
Yep.
Anything else? When you're feeling when you're feeling rejected?
I don't work like normally. Since I work full time, I have like time set aside usually to work my business. And so I find things to do. Kind of like Sarah said the other day, like procrastina cleaning, only mine's like procrastina organizing or like just finding other things that need to be done, like pay bills, which have to be done, right? So then I'm telling myself like, oh, well, that's something that has to be done, so I'll just go do that. Or just with just a lot of family stuff happening recently, just spending more time with some people that are having a hard time. And I need to be there for them, and I know that, but I know that I don't have to be there for them like right at that moment. Like, I could go work and then be there, but I'm just like, oh no, I have to do this right now. Sometimes that's the case, but most of the time it's not.
Okay. So when you feel rejected, you think in your mind, see, it's happening again. So some self-fulfilling prophecies, futurizing and saying, I told you so, sort of like beating self up a little bit here, right?
Yep.
Beating
Yep.
self up. Any judgment of self here? Kind of seeing any of that?
Yeah, totally. Definitely like judgment of myself of like, gosh, if I had only done this, then I would have been able to prevent it. Or like maybe what I had isn't real. Back to that, like, do I deserve to be here thing from the beginning,
So like questioning or self-doubt happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we have the self-fulfilling prophecy, the I told you so, you stop posting or you do it less, you're less engaged with your leaders and your team, you avoid follow-up, you organize, you pay bills, you spend time with family, beat self up, judgment of self, questioning, and self-doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else happening there other than what we've already listed that you can think of, or is that everything?
I think that's everything I can think of right now.
Okay. And then your result from that that I'm seeing is I am not leading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. It's interesting because I know I know how to be a good leader. I know I can be a good leader, but outside of plexus, but I sometimes, like, when it comes to plexus, I think that I'm not a good leader. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. um, because I'm not showing up the way that I need to be.
Why not?
Because my brain is telling me negative things.
Do you see that you're choosing this thought, I'm failing as a leader?
Yeah.
And what are you making it mean about you?
Like, what do you mean? Like,
I'm failing as a leader, and that means what?
and that means I'm not good at the business.
Not good at this.
Or that I can't keep people. Yeah.
Okay. So what?
But I am.
What if you're not?
Then I need to get better.
Why?
Because I want this still.
Why?
So many ways. I it's because, like, I want this for my family. I want financial freedom. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to give my kids all these things and not be tied down to work and not a traditional job that I have now. And I want the freedom to be able to go do all those things and work a flexible life and provide these amazing experiences for my kids that my parents gave to me.
What
And
if,
be there
go ahead.
and be there for my son who has special needs so that I can be there for therapies and teaching and doctor's appointments and be engaged in those things, where right now I only get to go to some of them.
What if this person that turned off their order, what if they said to your message, okay, I'm going to keep ordering? What would that mean about you?
I mean, I could say it would mean the opposite, that I was a good leader or good at follow up, but that doesn't necessarily mean that.
But it's kind of interesting how your brain is like, my success is measured off of other people's actions.
But it's not. It's about my actions.
Right. So there's a thought error happening there. Right?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'm only successful as a leader if everyone keeps ordering.
Yeah, no, that's not true.
Why not?
People are going to come and go. That's just part of it.
Yeah. So what if we grabbed that thought? People are going to come and go. Is that true?
Yes.
What is scary about that thought? I mean, I'm sort of putting words into your mouth by saying scary
No,
there, but knowing you so well,
yeah.
are you scared when you think that thought? People are going to come and go.
No, That's so funny though. Because like I'm obviously scared when it happens or it's causing other thoughts and feelings, but I do know that that's just part of it.
But what is so scary about that thought? People are going to come and go when it happens.
And it just means more work for me. Like I've got to, but that's,
Did you hear me talk about the unicycle?
Vaguely.
In
Maybe not.
In the last couple of episodes, we've talked about the unicycle,
Okay.
right? And if I told you it was going to take you 12 hours to learn how to ride a unicycle, right? Do you know how to ride a unicycle right now?
No.
Perfect. So if I was like, Angie, I'm going to have a unicycle waiting out front and it's going to take you 12 hours to learn to ride it. And you don't know how to do it, but you're going to go learn to ride the unicycle and you're going to go out and do it. Right.
Yeah.
And after 12 hours, it's like dark outside and you literally have not mastered it all day long. And then finally, after 12 hours, you're like, you get it. And you are balancing and riding the unicycle. Right. Then everything up until that very last minute where you master it has been a complete failure. But it was necessary in learning how to ride the unicycle to fail for 11 hours and 59 minutes.
I would just put in the time and do it.
Yeah. So what is true about success?
That I have to fail to learn and put in the time to keep getting better.
And what is getting better? How do you define getting better?
Practice.
What is failure?
I mean, it could be many different levels. From one could look at failure as losing a customer, although we know that that's not failure because it's part of the business, or like losing rank or something like that. It could go both extremes. Not reaching my goals that I set, or not my team not reaching their goals.
So when you think about failure and success in your mind, it's like we're either successful at this or we're failing at this. Right? And you're like, yep. And when somebody stops ordering, when person turns off their order, I'm failing as a leader. And then when someone keeps ordering, or maybe you have a person rank up, we don't know this for sure because I haven't asked you, but I would bet money on it that you would say, I'm succeeding as a leader.
Yep.
Right? Because we're looking for external validation of our leadership when we do that. When you do that.
Yep.
And every time you do that, it's really just setting you up for false validation. Because neither one is success nor failure. It's just the thought you have about it when it happens.
Yeah.
And when you define failure and when you define success, it's not a black and white answer, right?
Yeah.
You gave me two really gray answers. You're like, well, sometimes failure is just what you need to do to be successful. And sometimes success like isn't always like, perfect on the way.
Yeah.
But in this situation where someone turns off their order, you're like, see, I'm failing as a leader. And that means I'm not good at this.
Yeah, but it shouldn't mean that. Yep.
Well, I'm not saying that it should or it shouldn't.
Fair.
But that's what you're choosing right now to believe.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
And
And when you choose this thought, I'm failing as a leader, your result is I'm not leading.
Mm-hmm.
And is that what you want?
No.
So this other thought that you came up with, people are going to come and go, is one you could choose instead. Unless you don't believe that thought.
No, I do believe that thought. And I also liked what we said about sometimes it just takes time to master something, right? Or to even be better at it.
Well, and I'm going to ask you some questions because when you got emotional talking about why you want to do this, why you want to master this, right? You talked about your family and the doors it would open for you for travel, for time with your son and being there for his therapy. It wouldn't be as restrictive as your corporate schedule is, right? And what I want to know is how would it impact your life if everything stayed the same as it is right now, going forward? You never got any better at this. How would that impact your life?
I mean, I'm still gaining things from it, even where I am now, like personal growth and like so many things.
And who would you become if you, like, what would your life look like if you became this person that's successful as a leader?
Who would I become? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Somebody more successful that has more choices.
What does that person do every day?
Works really hard still.
Doing what?
Like working my business, leading people.
How do you lead? Like what would you do if you were leading people?
Talking to them regularly, having events, encouraging, inspiring, motivating them, training, teaching others.
But when you choose the thought, I'm failing as a leader, your actions are, I told you so, stop posting, not engaging with leaders and team, avoiding follow-up, organize, pay bills, spend time with family, beat self up, judgment of self, and self-doubt. And you're like, gosh, maybe I'm not any good at this. Why am I not going forward? It's because I'm failing as a leader. But it's just your thought about it that's giving you this feeling of rejection that you're taking action from.
Yep.
So when you look at the person the leader that you want to be, that's in the future, and she's talking regularly to her team. She's doing events regularly. She's encouraging them. She's inspiring them. She's training them. She's teaching others. What feeling does that person feel regularly about herself as a leader? What feeling does she feel?
Confident.
And what does she have to believe about herself
That she's,
to go ahead? What'd you say?
oh, that she's a good leader.
I'm a good leader. I feel confident and I do all these things that we just lifted off, right? But right
Mhm.
now we don't believe that. So our brain's going to be like, liar, you're not any good at this. What do you even think you're doing? I told you so. So you said, I'm failing as a leader. So what's the problem?
It's just my thought.
No, but like, what's the literal problem of you failing as a leader?
Like, what's the outcome from that? Or
Like, what problem does that cause in your life if you fail as a leader?
just not forward growth?
So we know right now we don't believe this thought, I'm a good leader, but is it possible to think I want to lead?
Yes. Yes.
And what do you feel when you think I want to lead?
It makes me excited.
Someone turns off order and you have the choice to think I'm failing as a leader, and your result is I'm not leading. Or someone turns off order and you have the choice to think I want to lead. Now watch me do it or whatever. Right? Which you started doing. You were like, I know exactly what to do. I'll write the message and then we'll send it. And it's almost like I wonder here if if there's something happening here, like because your level 1 saw that it didn't work, are you thinking they think you're failing as a leader?
No.
Okay.
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
No, it doesn't sound like it. Doesn't sound
Yeah.
like it. I'm not
Yeah.
was not
Yeah.
expecting a certain way to answer that
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
all.
No, I don't think she.
So it's like, again, you're measuring your success based off of other people's actions.
Mhm.
And that is always going to set you up for failure.
Yep.
Because we can't control level 2 that turns off order. We can give the perfect message, do the
Yeah.
perfect save, and they can still choose they want to quit.
Yep.
And your base of your success, when it's measured on that, and then you're like, yep, I'm failing as a leader. Here it is again. That one of the things that I also see coming up here is I'm rejecting me.
Mhm.
What do you think about all this?
Kind of heavy. Like, I don't want to be in that place.
And we can like process it, right? We can be like, yep, this is what rejection feels like. I'm rejecting me, or I'm not leading, right? But if if I'm rejecting me right now in this moment and I don't like that, I can say something to myself like, yeah, sometimes I reject me. Sometimes I do.
Okay.
And sometimes I want to reject me. Right? But we're like, no, we shouldn't reject ourselves. That's not positive. We should accept ourselves. We should be accepting of ourselves. But sometimes we just want to reject ourselves. Right? And we're like, yeah, that's what I did there. Is it possible that even good leaders, successful leaders, reject themselves?
Yeah.
Is it possible that sometimes even good leaders just avoid leadership?
Yeah.
Like, what if I told you that the person that you are right now is 100% worthy of hitting the top rank of your company, and you don't even need to be a better version of yourself to be worthy of it?
It's pretty cool.
It's 100% true. The version of yourself 2 years ago was worthy of it.
Yeah.
And your brain's like, oh, right now in your model that we have here, your brain's like, oh, if I were just better, then I would be worthy of hitting that top rank or hitting that next rank or moving forward in my business. But you're worthy of it right now, like right now, already, without any of that. I'm going to read something to you about unconditional love that I think is relevant. When we think about loving ourselves, we have the ability to love no matter what. It's an option, right? But we're like, no, I'm only going to love myself when I'm like a good leader. And I can't like myself as a leader until I achieve that, because I'm not good enough yet to love myself as a leader. But there's a thought error there that's getting in your way, because the ability to love ourselves no matter what exists right now without any condition on it.
Mm-hmm.
Unconditional love is always an option that's available to us. And so one thought that I want to offer to you when you're thinking about loving yourself as a leader right now, no matter what you become in the future, is this question, like literally talking to yourself and being like, I love you as a leader, and there's nothing you can do about it. Too bad if you think we're not good enough yet. I love you as a leader self, and there's nothing you can do about it. Right?
Yeah.
And really, if we could choose any emotion to feel, most of us want to feel amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like confident, excited. We want to feel peace. We want to feel love. And when you choose to think of yourself and reject yourself as a leader by thinking the thought, I'm failing as a leader, you're rejecting yourself. I'm rejecting me. Right? And your choice to not feel love for yourself in that situation is only hurting you.
Yep.
So you get to feel love whenever you want to. And nothing that anyone does in your business, whether they quit their products or hit another rank, doesn't ever deny that feeling if you want it. You get to choose how you feel about yourself, regardless of how you treat yourself. Right?
Yeah.
So how do you want to feel about this situation? This person that quit?
That it's like, it doesn't matter in the bigger picture, and they'll come back around when the time's right for them. And I love me anyways.
There you go. One step closer on the totem pole.
Mhm.
But right now you're choosing, I'm failing as a leader.
Yeah, I don't want to choose that anymore.
Yeah. How do you want to feel right now?
To love myself and be confident and just go back to taking action.
Yeah, I'm ready to lead.
Mm-hmm.
In any situation, I'm ready.
Yep.
Beam me up, Scotty. I volunteer as tribute.
Yes, pick me.
Things that I believe about leadership is there's a lot of mistakes in leadership.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of failure in leadership. And the only way you get better at leadership is because you fail so frequently that sometimes you succeed, right? So, what's stopping you from succeeding as a leader?
Nothing. I mean, myself and my thoughts, right? So,
Yeah, just that thought right there.
yep.
So, when you hear that thought come up, you can just be like, I'm ready to lead. Sometimes I fail, sometimes I succeed. But my measure of success is measured by what?
Love of self and not stopping.
Okay, there you go. You probably have to remind yourself what your definition and measure of success is, because you might feel tempted to measure your success on people ordering or not ordering. And yes, I understand we have to have orders to have points and
Yep.
volume and go forward. I'm not saying that we don't. I'm not
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we don't even have to measure our success anymore. Just feel the happy thoughts and happy times, happy days lay ahead. Like, no. We have to set goals. We have to hit a number. We have to move forward.
Yep.
Those things are important.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's how we move forward.
Yep.
But it's this thinking about it as we move forward, right? Where specifically here, thinking about your successes or failures can be something so powerful as every failure I have is teaching me how to be successful in this situation next time.
Mm.
Or there I go, learning more things. Like that's something that I choose frequently as I'm coaching myself. There I go, learning more things.
Yeah, more tools in my toolbox.
Love what that person just taught me. There I go again. Leading. So I think having that statement with you frequently is going to help a ton. There I go again. Watch me go. So good.
Good.
All right, Angie.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Allie, you're up next.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. So I feel like I need more coaching, more so in my business, as far as if there's specific actions I should be doing where I'm at. I sometimes feel like there's so many systems and options and things that I'm like, okay, how do I zone in and figure out like what my best system was going to be?
How do you do that?
Well, I've failed a few times trying other people's systems. So I think I really like how you said, each time you have a quote unquote failure, you just learn from it. I've kind of always looked at my business that way rather than, I'm not failing. I'm just going to keep learning from each situation.
There you go again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? There I go again.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Is there like a specific example that you have where this is happening?
Well, I feel like sometimes I think I'm doing the right things as far as, when I keep, like, I have a big whiteboard here where I keep track of everybody and I go and I follow up with them. And then sometimes I get nothing back, no response. I'm like, hello? Like, what happened? I don't know. Like, did I drop something there, or were you just not the right person? Like, I don't know what happened when sometimes people just ghost me in a sense.
Mm-hmm. And what's the answer to that?
To what?
Like you said, you have this whiteboard and you have
Mhm.
people's names written down on it,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Whiteboard with names on it, right?
Mhm.
And your thought about it is what?
My thought is these are all of my people that I need to be giving good customer care to.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps me to be able to physically look at the names every day and see them and know, like, okay, I haven't talked to Debbie in a few days, or I need to go back and make sure Michelle did that thing she was going to tell me she was doing. So for me, it's more like a organization system. In a sense, it feels like it's clearing up my brain because it's all right there.
And so you send a message
Mhm.
and then they don't respond back.
Sometimes, not all of these people, sometimes they do. I feel like I've been growing through Instagram lately, and I don't know if it's just every so often I get a stranger where they're like, okay, maybe that wasn't what I wanted to do, and they stop talking to me.
Mm-hmm. Did that happen recently?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So it was just a woman who I got a message from her on Instagram. So she reached out to me and asked me what I did and, how I help people, and figured out what would be the best system for her. And she got started and signed up, and then does not reply to anything I send her as far as like a protocol and making sure she's taking things correctly. Like I get nothing back. Like, did I scare you? I don't know what happened.
Mm-hmm. So you signed up a stranger and she hasn't messaged back.
No.
And you think, I don't know what happened.
Right.
Why is that a problem?
I mean, I just want to make sure she's taking her products the right way. Really, I would hate for it to turn around and her be somebody who says, well, that didn't work. And, but I don't know if you're taking it the way I still sent her a protocol anyways. And it's like, this is my best recommendation.
But I know that you were saying like, you're not sure if the system is right.
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 Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what happened. What are you making that mean? Like, what does it matter? So what?
I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter.
You're like, I don't know what happened. And is it because of the system?
I don't know. I don't know if it was the system. I mean, I did the same thing with her that I do with everybody else. So it was just, she was the one who didn't get back to me. And it kind of just makes me feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'm a very likable person and I'm friendly, and we chatted for a good bit before she signed up. And I just am like, well, what changed all of a sudden?
Yeah. What changed?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I changed. And I just haven't heard back at all from her. So
It's kind of interesting that you just said, I feel like I'm likable. So is it you? Like, did you wonder if you were not likable enough?
I mean, I just don't know. I feel like it was more her personality, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's go back to you signed a stranger up and she hasn't responded, and you think, I don't know what happened. And you feel what?
A little disappointed.
Okay. And when you feel disappointed, in your mind, I heard you say you question your system, you question your personality, and then you question her personality. What else are you doing when you feel disappointed?
More so I would say just trying to figure out, okay, what could I have done? What could I have done differently, or what should I do differently going forward, when signing up more strangers? Like, what would I do differently in that situation that I did there, where I wouldn't maybe do it again?
So there's some black and white thinking going on here, like, I must have done something wrong.
Yeah.
But we don't know if you did something wrong.
Right. It's the great mystery.
Right. But your brain's like, but something went wrong here because she didn't message back. And if I had done this the right way and used the right system, she would have messaged back.
I mean, I think so.
But we don't know that.
We don't. We do not know that.
No way for us to know that.
No.
But our brain's like trying to make sense of it.
Yes.
So we're like, yeah, probably did something wrong here. So we have to fix it. We have to figure this out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then any other things that you do when you're feeling disappointed there? Like when you think, I don't know what happened. Are you like scrolling back in the message, like re-looking over everything you guys talked about?
No, I hadn't done that with her because it was pretty we had really good conversation as far as like what I do and how products work and why they work, what would be good for her. I would say it was almost like pretty quickly where she ghosted me and stopped talking to me. So I almost like didn't have enough to even look back over and be like, well, what could I have even done differently here?
Let's pretend that this sort of like kind of similar to what I just talked to Angie about. Like, let's pretend she responded back.
Mm-hmm.
Would you have questioned your system?
No, I don't think so.
What's the difference between the two?
Nothing.
There's a difference.
Well, I guess, yeah, one would keep my thought going like, okay, we're going great. Whereas she kind of stopped me and I was like, what did I do wrong?
Right.
Yeah.
So the only difference is the thought you're choosing to have about it.
Right. Right.
And the thing that you said that you struggle with is not knowing which system is right. There's all these systems and I don't know which one to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this system with my whiteboard and the names on it, and it works for people that I know, but it doesn't work with the strangers, except it does sometimes, but not with this stranger.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to question the entire system because this one stranger hasn't messaged me back. And I think to myself, I don't know what happened. But what if someone you knew really well and you're using this system on your whiteboard,
Mm-hmm.
you follow up and they don't respond back? What do you think then?
That they might be busy at that time, and then I'll try back in a day or two.
So it's kind of interesting what your brain's doing here, because this stranger hasn't responded back. You're like, oh my gosh, throw the whole system out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you know if the system works or not?
I mean, I think it does work for the most part.
Okay.
I think it's more her.
Okay. And when you think, I don't know what happened, your result is, I doubt me. Right?
A little bit.
Anything else that you see that as a result from this?
No, not really. I mean, I don't feel like I'm too hung up on her. It was more so like, that's just recently like one thing that kind of was like, well, what happened?
Right. Well, and she's not even, she's just the circumstance.
Yeah.
Right. But then it's like morphed into this whole thing. Like, I don't even know what system to use.
Mm-hmm.
There's all these systems. What systems am I supposed to use?
Yeah.
And your brain's like all over the place. You're like, there's just all this stuff. It's all coming at me. Right. And like this little this stranger, you're like, yes, your brain's like, yep. And here we have evidence that this system isn't working. So we got to find a different system. And maybe you should. Only you have the answer to that. But what I want to show you is what your brain is doing here is, because you're choosing this thought, I don't know what happened. Your only result from thinking that thought is, I doubt me.
Right.
And is that the result that you want?
No.
What do you want to feel about your systems?
That they are working well.
Which ones?
My follow-up customer care kind of systems.
Okay, so they're working well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are there any that aren't working well?
Not really. And I feel like it's going pretty well.
Except when you choose this thought, I don't know what happened, and then you doubt yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what's the upside of that?
That maybe it's not my system. It could be more so the person not necessarily being ready to commit how they once said that they were.
Could be.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know.
Right.
Because we didn't ask her.
Right.
And even if we had, she might not have messaged back. Right?
Yeah.
So is there any upside of trying to figure out, well, there might be, right? Because a possible upside of asking ourselves, I don't know what happened, is maybe we do think of a new idea. Maybe we do find a different way to do it with a stranger. Maybe did you message her through Instagram Messenger or her cell phone number?
Both. We started on Instagram and then moved to Messenger.
Okay. Okay. So we don't know if the system works or not. We know she's not responding. That's all we know.
Mm-hmm.
She's not responding. And we're making it mean that maybe our system has a flaw.
Mm-hmm.
And the upside of that is we can reevaluate our system.
Right.
Doesn't mean we have to change it, but it might be worth looking into.
Right.
But the downside of it is when we think, I don't know what happened. Because when we think, I don't know what happened, we just doubt ourselves. So do you see that you're choosing to think, I don't know what happened?
Yes. Yeah.
And you might not. And I'm not saying you should or shouldn't think this. But when you choose to think it, you know that you're just going to doubt yourself. And so what do you
Yeah.
think about all of this?
To not doubt myself, or to just, I feel like keep learning, to maybe, okay, just step back and look at everything. It doesn't mean anything is wrong or a failure, but we could maybe see what I can learn from it.
Well, and like, I don't know what happened. I feel like you do know what happened. Like a little bit, you're like, yeah, she didn't respond. She just didn't respond. And then it could be like you've already offered another solution, that it could just be that she wasn't ready for it. It could just be that like she's just didn't want to take it anymore. Like we don't know, but you know that it's like, I hear you say to me that it's probably not my system. Like when you sit and you logically think it out, you're like, it's probably not my system. And so you have all of these systems that are coming at you, right? Like that was the thing where you were like, I want coaching on, like, there's so many systems, like there's all these systems, right? And I don't know what system is best, or like organizing all of them, or which one to pick. Which one was it?
Yeah, like which one to pick, or is it, do I need to like just kind of evaluate different ones and figure out like, okay, I like this from this one and this from this one, and making my own type of system?
And so how do we find the answer to that?
Keep doing it, keep using different systems.
And then how do you know which ones work and which ones don't work as you use them?
I guess based off of the type of responses that I would get back.
And so is it possible that this system could be the very perfect system and the only system you need for follow-up?
It is possible.
It could be,
Yeah.
right? And what other systems are like thrown at you that you're like, oh my gosh, there's more? Other follow-up systems, like you're like, that maybe this one's not good enough. Is that what you're wondering? Or are there other systems for other parts of your business?
I think more so systems as far as like, okay, how do I keep all of these people organized so that it's not constantly taking up my brain space? More so, like, how do I organize everything that's in my head so that it's not constantly like, oh, I got to check in with this girl, and this girl signed up last week, and I got to check in with her, and I got to check in with her. So it's, I guess, more time manageable systems, if that makes sense.
So what's a time manageable system that you could do, like you just explained?
I guess more so schedule out my days better, I would say.
So how would you do that?
I have to get my husband on board with my schedule.
Would you?
I would, because like Angie, I also have a special needs child. So most of our schedule revolves around her and therapies and things like that. And I do have another job, but it allows me to work from home. So I feel like I already have that advantage where I can, compartmentalize my days and my times. So I think maybe more, I just need to have a more solid timed blocked system.
Why aren't you doing that right now?
I don't have an answer for that. I try so hard. I think I need to get my husband more on board with like, I need a schedule. We have her a schedule and my son a schedule, but I'm like, I'm 31, but I still need a schedule. Like it's still, that's what.
Why does your husband have to be on board for you to do that?
I guess for him to more so follow what I'm doing on the schedule. Whereas like, if I'm okay, it's a few hours where I'm going to be working on my business, I need to either not be here, or because we homeschool too. So my children are always home, and my daughter, that's the thing, is she does not understand like, okay, well, mom has to work for 2 hours, she doesn't understand that. So it's almost like I need him to be on board with me, either leaving the house or shutting the door or taking the kids out, which I feel like he's starting to see more so as my like business grows. It's just setting it. Like, this is what we do Mondays. This is what we do Tuesdays. that kind of thing.
With your other job, does your daughter understand when you have to work for your other job?
No.
What does he do with that?
Well, that one, it doesn't require me to talk to people where like through a voice message or anything like that. It's strictly just email. So like I can do that sitting in my bed. I can do that sitting out on the couch. That one doesn't require it can take me as long as it needs to take me.
How is this different?
I mean, I don't want it to take all day long. So.
But what's the problem with it taking all day long?
It takes up time where we would go do things as a family.
Okay. So tell me again. Right now, in your mind, you have this belief that husband has to be on board, right, for this to work. But we can't control husband.
Right.
Be nice. Can't control him.
Right.
So us thinking and believing that we have to get husband on board for this to happen, I'm guessing if we put it into a model, that the result would be something along the lines of, I don't show up, or I don't go forward. Something that has a net negative. Right. And so, or I don't take responsibility for myself. So do you want to believe that you have to have husband on board, or do you want to set a schedule to help you be successful?
Set a schedule to more so take responsibility for myself.
And we could even be like, husband, this is my schedule. This is what I'm going to be doing. And it's super important to me. And I know that you might not be on board.
Right.
But if you come in, or if our daughter comes in during this time, I'm going to have to send her out and lock the door, and I'm not going to be able to answer you.
Yeah. I mean, I could do that.
You could, right? You could set some sort of a boundary around it. Right. But we're like, but that might upset husband.
That might upset my daughters.
Might upset daughter. Might upset daughter. Could. It could. And then there's this like belief that like we should make our kids happy all the time.
Right.
We shouldn't upset our kids. What's wrong with daughter being upset?
She's very loud. She's nonverbal, but she's vocal, and girlfriend screams.
Okay. What's wrong with that? Why is that a problem?
We live in an apartment. So we've had neighbors knock on our door. I mean, I can't necessarily do anything about it, because that's just what she does. That's just, she's autistic. So there's not a lot of understanding that happened.
Why do they need to understand?
They don't need to understand. I don't care if my neighbors understand. There's just with my daughter, there's not a lot of understanding what I'm doing or why I'm doing it.
Yeah. So what's the problem of a neighbor coming over and complaining and knocking on the door that she's being loud?
That's not a problem. It's not. I mean, I brought it up, so it was an issue in the beginning when we first lived here, but it's one of the things I've learned to just like, okay, we just say okay, and we shut the door.
There goes my autistic daughter again, screaming.
Yeah,
that's what she does. Yeah, that's what she does when I have to close the door during my work time. Yeah. What do you think about that?
I think it's better if I can set a schedule where I leave and then come back. Yeah.
You'd prefer to leave?
Yes.
Okay. So why don't you do that?
I think I did. There was a point where I was, and I just stopped, and I don't know why. I don't know.
If you had to take a guess, why would you say he stopped leaving?
I don't know. I really don't know why I stopped doing what I was doing.
What happens if you start again? What's the problem with it?
There's not a problem. I just need to start to do it.
So if you go to your husband and you're like, hey, I'm going to leave the house every day at this time just to do my plexus work. What do you think?
I think that's what I need to do.
What's he going to think? Well, we don't know, but
he's
how do we
pretty
think he's
supportive
gonna
husband. I
respond?
will say that. He's pretty supportive. So he
we
would
don't even really have to try that hard to get him on board.
No, he most likely would say, okay.
Because you're like, oh my gosh, it's gonna like I have to get husband on board. You like explained it like it was like this big heavy thing. I'm gonna have to get my husband on board.
No, he just when I bring up the schedule, because I bring it up a lot because it's my personality type. I know myself that I like a schedule. And he always says, well, we've tried that and it doesn't work.
What doesn't work?
I guess the schedule. So I don't know if it's like I feed off of him when he says that, and then I start to think it doesn't work. But I don't know if we haven't stuck with a schedule long enough to show that it does work.
But how do you know it's not working when you do it?
I think it does work when I do it.
But he says it doesn't work. So what's not working for him about it? He just says it doesn't work and he doesn't tell you why.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because we have things that change, and some parts of our schedule where we try to schedule can get a little messed up and out of our control. Where we have a therapy.
When that comes up and husband says this isn't working, you could be like, yeah, sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I gotta go anyway.
Right.
I know sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Sometimes it doesn't work.
Oh.
But I love you and I gotta go.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Mm-hmm.
See you later. Because this is what we decided we were going to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it does work.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes daughter yells.
Yep.
Sometimes neighbors knock. And here I go.
Yep.
Living my 50-50 life, experience 50-50. 50% of the time, it's super easy to walk out the door and go leave and do my work. The other 50% of the time, daughter yells, husband says, sometimes this doesn't work, neighbor knocks, and here I go.
Gotta go.
Right?
Yeah.
But when we try to like lock ourselves into, and something's gone wrong and I have to fix it, and I don't know how to fix it, and I don't know what happened, then we're like, disappointed. And when we're disappointed, we doubt ourselves. And when we doubt ourselves, we just sit around questioning ourselves and our personality and everybody else's personality. And if we're going to be away from our kids to work, like we got to get stuff done, right? We want to make it count. So if we're going to be away, then choosing the thought, I don't know what happened, is probably not going to serve us. Right.
Right.
And we're like, oh, okay, we're going to, this is schedule. Sometimes it's not going to work out. Sometimes daughter's going to yell. Sometimes husband's going to say, this isn't, working out. And we're going to be like, yep. I know. Sometimes it doesn't. Yep.
Sometimes it's like that.
I'm sorry. I know. But we take our own power back in our thoughts and what we choose to think about the situation. Right? I can't wait to see you practice all of this.
It's like cutting it.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me okay? Is that better?
Now I can. I missed what you just said though. Yeah.
Said, I can't wait to see you practice this and come back and tell me what comes up. Right? Because we want to be loving. We don't want to be like, yep, sometimes this happens. See you later. Right? We want to be like compassionate. We want to be like,
right.
I know sometimes this totally happens and I don't like it either. But I've got to go because like I feel called to do this. And I love you so much. And I really hate it when daughter screams and the neighbors come. Like, I know it shouldn't be a problem, but like, it's not my favorite thing either. I know.
Right.
But like, I feel like I'm supposed to do this. So I gotta go.
Yeah.
Right. You just have that honest conversation with like deep connection. Yeah. That's where you take all your power back. Because right now you're just like giving it away to this stranger that won't respond on Instagram.
I know.
You're like, yeah, my systems are probably wrong. All the systems are wrong. My work schedule isn't work. I've got to just talk to my husband and we've got to like, I got to talk to him. And if I talk to him and I get his support, which I'm making it sound like it's really hard, but actually he's super supportive and he'd probably be like, cool, babe, do it.
Yeah.
Right?
His typical response is, if that's what you need to do.
Yeah. But we're like telling this story a little bit that like, yeah, I'd have to get my husband on board. Death might be ahead. Right? But if we're just like, yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Then you've totally got this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You come back and tell us what comes out of this as you do it. Cause your brain's gonna, it just gets in the way. It just does this.
Yeah.
You're just, how human of you.
Right. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
How human of you. Yeah. So awesome. Well, thanks for being coached today, Allie and Angie. This was so fun. And I can't wait to be back with you here tomorrow. Our call tomorrow is going to be at, let me find it. I always have to look at my own schedule. You can just go to my Instagram handle at Emily Gibson Coaching. If you ever need to know the schedule, it's posted in my main feed. Our call on Wednesday is 1:30 Mountain Daylight Time. You can come on, you can get coached live. If someone doesn't show up, you can take their spot. You can be the lucky one that totally capitalizes on them not showing up. Right? And Allie and Angie, aren't you so glad you got to do that today?
Yes, very much so. She sent me a message last night. She was like, do you want my spot? I was like, yes.
Yes. All right, guys. Thanks for being here today. We will see you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.